Hey everybody, we're going to talk about freelancing and specifically the freelancer's cycle, if you will, what it's like to be a freelancer, what can you expect when you're starting out your freelance business, and how is it different from working with somebody. What you're going to see, there's a lot of advantages. Let's talk about the freelance lifestyle. There's a couple major, how should I say it, cycles when you become a freelancer. So I'm going to just go over things quickly. This is a car vlog, so it's just off the top of my head. All right, so when you first start off as a freelancer, there's going to be this lag time before things start going. There's going to be lag time because you have to establish your business, basically your reputation, getting your clients, getting your website up. No matter what type of freelancing you're going to do, whether you are a web developer, a web designer, a caterer, a photographer, videographer, you're going to need a website of some sort. So you got to get the site up, make sure the site looks good. So there's that lag time, just getting things going, getting your workflow in place, and getting your first few clients so people can identify and get to know you. So that's normal. So when you first start getting into the freelance lifestyle, you should proceed slowly. Don't go in guns blazing, if you will. Don't quit your job and don't drop everything else you're doing. I would recommend a gradual process when you're getting into the freelance lifestyle. If you do it that way, you're going to have a much easier glide path into that lifestyle. Once you get going and you start working with your first few clients, you're going to have to develop a workflow of some sort. The workflow will be in terms of not just how you build out a site or how you build out an app, but also how you work with the clients in terms of billing, in terms of communications, and so forth. The more you solidify a consistent workflow, the more profitable you're going to be, the less hassles you're going to have. So when you first start off, there's this big lag time because you're just setting things up and you're establishing your reputation, you're establishing your first few clients. Once you get past that initial stage, you start working with more and more clients, you're going to be refining this workflow, and as it refines, you're going to be more productive, meaning you're going to be able to do more with less time. And that's the key, because when you are a freelancer, you're essentially selling your time. So you want to maximize the efficiency, your efficiency in terms of time. There we go. That's where in the web space, whether you're a web designer or a web programmer, that's where you want to leverage frameworks and libraries. You want to have templated things, like you want to have your contracts templated. You want to have your invoicing templated. You want to have a set structure in terms of how you manage the projects, how you manage clients, etc. And again, this will increase your efficiency, which will increase how much money you make over time. So what then happens after that, you got the first stage set up, big lag time, spotted clients, one client here, you wait several months, you get another client there. But then it starts to become regular and you got a flow of clients, everything's cool. And then what you're going to have is you're going to have situations where you're going to have periods where you're not going to get too much work, and then you're going to be a ton of work, you're not going to know what to do with it. So that's another normal stage in the freelance lifestyle, that inconsistent flow of work. So as a freelancer, I've mentioned in other videos, you have to become very good with your money. You have to learn how to manage money so that you can deal with those downtimes. So when you're freelancing, you have to be more strict about how you manage your money. You got to make sure you always have money in the bank to cover all your expenses. And I would suggest at least 6 months to a year worth of expenses. This is something you build up over time. And the reason you want to do that is because it gives you a lot of freedom. It gives you a lot of choice in terms of who you deal with, in terms of clients. And you won't worry so much if for a month you have no work, because you have plenty of money in the bank, pay all your expenses. And the next stage is that you just got tons of work. And then you're going to start having to either outsource work or hire people going to help you out with the design work or the programming work and so forth. What I recommend when you do get to that stage, and it will happen if you just persist and you follow best practices, as they say. When you get to that stage where you're so busy, you need to hire people, what you do is you hire people to do work that you're not good at or work that you don't like doing. That's what you do. You hire, when we restate that, you hire people to do work that you don't want to do or stuff that you're not good at. That just makes your life more pleasant as well. So that's the freelance cycle in a nutshell. You start off, you're developing all your workflows, et cetera. It takes time before you start establishing your first clients. A lot of people drop off at this point because they figure, I'm not getting clients, it's been a few months, what am I going to do? So you just got to continue, persist, keep reaching out to people, and it will happen, trust me. And then you get to that point where you start getting clients and everything's moving smoothly and flowing, and you're able to handle it because you have refined your workflows and so forth. And then you get to that stage where you got so much work you don't know what to do with it. What are you going to do? That's where you can outsource, etc. One tip, and I've mentioned in other videos, what you can do to deal with a huge influx of work and be able to maximize your time is to really to leverage frameworks, whether it be web frameworks. So on the server-side programming end of things like Python Django or PHP Laravel or Java Spring, etc. So, and then your front-end frameworks can help you with that as well. So another little strategy on top of that is just to start accepting clients whose projects align with your internal workflows, that their projects align with the templates, if you will, that you have. And trust me, you're going to be able to do that with time. Or what you could do is, like I used to do, I would maneuver my clients accordingly. Because a lot of times you meet clients, they don't exactly know what they want. They kind of know what they want, but they don't really know what they want in terms of specifics. And it's up to you as a consultant, as a freelancer, because you're not just writing code, you're a consultant. You're there to advise them about the best approach to take to solve their problems with technology, whether it be building a website or building a web app or something. And you can steer the client's projects accordingly. And I've done that many times in the past in my freelance days, where I would essentially, the client had the idea of going this way, and I said, no, it's better if you do it this way because I've worked with other people and this is a more efficient way of doing things. And if you sell it properly, they'll agree, and then Bob's your uncle, you're doing well, because then that new agreed upon way of doing things aligns with your workflows, aligns with your frameworks, and you just are much more productive. So you go from making the same money as somebody working for somebody to making 2, 3, 4, 5 times what somebody working for somebody would make, in the same job. So what do I mean by that? I'll translate that. In the end, when you get to the midpoint, once you establish your freelance business, you will, guaranteed, be making much more money as a freelancer than you could possibly make working for somebody, with some very rare exceptions. Maybe you're a superstar coder in AI and you get a job making $500,000 at Google or something. I don't think those jobs are very common. They're very rare, in fact. But as a freelancer, because you can do all the things I suggest, and I teach a lot more in my freelance course, a lot more that makes it much easier, and you get there much more quickly. If you develop the workflows, you set up a stable of clients, you outsource work when you need to, you can make much more money as a freelancer than you could possibly make working for somebody. One of the other reasons why freelancers will make much more money is because of the taxation. When you are a freelancer, you are essentially a business, and as such, you can start deducting all these costs. Your tax rate is going to be much lower than it would be working for somebody, so you're going to pocket a lot more money. So nothing's perfect though. Freelancing in the beginning stages, there's some difficulties, ups and downs until you establish yourself. But soon enough, you'll see the huge advantages. And one thing about freelancing means freedom, meaning you have your choice. When you're a freelancer, you can choose where you work, with whom you work, the type of projects you work on, when you work, and if you want to take a month off in the winter, you take a month off in the winter. It's up to you. Once you've established yourself, it's really cool that way. Whereas when you work for somebody, you have the security, and I say security in quotes because if their business goes down, they'll just fire you. But you have the security of you're getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, but you don't choose your projects, you don't choose the type of coding you're going to do, you don't choose when you work, you don't choose where you work. So there's a bit of a trade-off. So I'll close off with this. With freelancing, the startup phase is a little bit more nerve-wracking, and there's a bit of a lag time before you get it up and running, no question. But after that, if you manage yourself properly and you structure it properly, then you're going to be in a position where you have tremendous freedom, and you are going to be making much more than somebody else. You're doing the same type of work, right? Working for somebody. There's no question. Because remember this, if I hire somebody to write code for me, I got to make money on their code, right? So if I'm reselling their services, essentially, I got to make money on the code. So there's got to be that markup. Whereas if you're a freelancer, there's no middleman, your boss, making money on your code, right? You're making all the money yourself. I hope that makes sense. So there you go. This is my, it's 11 minutes, so it's enough of a vlog for today. If you want all kinds of details, I got a Freelancer course, audio, video format, including 5 templates. Yes, shameless plug. That's one thing, as a freelancer, you're going to have to learn to shamelessly plug yourself at the right times. You don't want to go crazy. You don't want to go to parties and be like these multi-level marketing guys try to sell your relatives fruit drinks or something. But yeah, anyway, if you want to learn more about freelancing, check out the links below to my course. Very popular course. People love it because it's like 2.5 hours, I guess, of video and audio. Audio you can listen on the go. And you learn everything that I've learned about freelancing going back over 20 years now. All right, we'll talk soon. Ciao, ciao.